Okay. Hi there.
Hi.
We are online now. So just before we get started, we'll wait a couple of minutes more for all registered participants. Like 2-3 minutes. So maybe short 2 questions to those who already have joined us. Can you let me know if you are hearing me correctly and if the first slide of the presentation is visible for you? Use the comment section. Hi. Yes, thank you. That's good. That's good. Okay, so maybe a second question. Where are you from? From which company or from which country? Cool. Okay. So I'm assuming that also you are seeing me and Sylvia, not only me. India, cool. UK. I'm hoping like all of you guys have a very beautiful weather today because in Poland it's like, I don't know, start of the summer season. It's like 20 degrees outside.
Yeah, you can see in my window behind how sunny it is. A great weather.
Correct. Oh, so Canada also. Świdnik from Poland. Hey, Mateusz. And Turkey. Cool. That's amazing. I'm very pleased that such amount of you guys are together with us here. Okay. Egyptian from UNA. Good vibes. Okay. So hi again. Just a few words of introduction. We are the X Plus Global. We specialize in Dynamics ERP implementation, and also we have a scope of products helping our clients to solve their everyday tasks using Dynamics environment. I'm Rafał Nyszewski, and I will be your moderator for this webinar, how to identify the most costly processes in MS Dynamics 365 FSCM. Okay, so I'm very glad that you have joined us today. We would like to show you something really special. You might consider this show as the world premiere of X Plus new process mining tool in the 365 FSCM environment. So, couple housekeeping things before we get started. The chat is on. We have already tested it a little bit. So you can ask the questions during the webinar. At the end, we'll perform with Sylvia a short live Q&A session. So feel free to ask the questions here. And also, we are recording this webinar. So to each of the email address which you have used it for the registration, we will send the link to this recording. So today, together with me is Sylvia. Sylvia is a highly experienced product manager. Sylvia focuses on optimizing business processes to make them of the top quality. At everyday basis, she participates in designing process of tools and solutions for ERP systems. Sylvia is an expert in Microsoft solutions like D365, Power BI, and Commerce. So moving forward to today's webinar agenda. First, we will do a short introduction to create you a background about the process and task mining, which such takeaways like what data mining tools do and what value they can offer for their users. After that, an executive explorer showcase, use case scenarios, and answer the question why our tool is such unique. Then Q&A session. And at the end of the presentation, just before demo session, which will be performed by Sylvia, we will provide you something special. So please stay with us till the very end. Okay, then. So back to the start of the show. Sylvia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rafał. Hello again. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. Thank you for finding time to be with us here today. So, with no further ado, we can dig in and discuss the issue of process optimization. So, as you most likely know, process optimization using process mining is the latest thing. Yeah, it's vogue now, and everyone wants to do it. Everyone wants to do it because it saves resources, right? So, but before I talk some more about it, maybe I will briefly explain to you what process mining is to those of you who might not really be familiar with that. So, when we take a business perspective, the process mining offers a possibility of discovering what processes are implemented in your organization and what tasks your users are performing. And this information often leads to really interesting insights. You can, for example, find places when you can start process optimization, right? So from business perspective, that's what it's all about. And when it comes to technology, this process mining is a combination actually of data mining and data science. So data mining is responsible for collecting, ordering, structuring data, and data science is responsible for finding, business logic in this data. So that's what it is. Okay, so I think it sounds great, sounds, promising, but actually there are some problems with using process mining, and unfortunately they appear at the very beginning. So, there are questions. Where do I start? How do I find reliable data? And how do I analyze this data? So, to answer all these questions, we've created a solution, our Executive Explorer. And what it does, it actually allows you to discover optimization potential, but automatically in your organization. And it bases on automated research and analysis of the users of your Dynamics 365 or AX. Okay, so now let's think about the most common problem that appears when it comes to process mining. So the most common way that we found regarding process mining is that it involves digging into system logs captured from ERP, CRM, or some supply chain management systems. And there are actually many solutions like that available in the market. But what we believe that this approach does not really work well because it gives you an incomplete insight into real business processes that are in your organization. Because the analyzing of system logs only, it provides only a small drawing of your processes, right? So our approach is completely different. In our opinion, to achieve a business goal here is to actually study users' behaviors, not only logs. So that is exactly what our Executive Explorer does. It gives you a full and a complete insight into what is happening at all times in your ERP system. So first, there is an agent. It is a special plugin that works as an objective observer of reality if you're in your ERP system that reads all the events from your users. Every click is read and saved, as well every value typed in Dynamics. Everything is recorded, and the whole image is completed by the business information which accompanies user actions. So and then our unique big data algorithm, which uses machine learning, organizes the data which it found before and finds processes that are conducted in Dynamics 365. And the third step, it involves our web application, which we also, of course, offer. It is a place when you can see all those found processes. You can use this application for process analysis, and you can find their potential for process optimization. But this web application, I will show it to you in more detail later during the demo. Okay, now I think we can dig a bit deeper into our solution. So here we have on the presentation a value proposition. So let me read it for you briefly. So as a manager, I want to learn what processes operating in my department are the most cost heavy. And Executive Explorer allows me to find them and begin optimization to obtain financial yield. And well, it offers a somewhat unfair advantage because Executive Explorer is the source of objective truth about users' actions. So we collect information about each click and user action, as I mentioned before, in the system. So what we have is a really unique technology on a global scale. I'm really, really excited to talk to you about it today because I'm really hyped about it. It's really something unique, I believe. Okay, so, but let's talk how to start with process optimization using our tool. First, we offer you a table view of all processes which you can filter as you need. So, for example, with one click, you can easily find those processes that are most cost heavy or those that are actually ready for automation. And there's also more. You can view details of those processes. On the next slide, you will see it. Yeah, how it looks like. This is a dedicated view where you can analyze every process. Among others, you can see the process variations. So in other words, discrepancies in your users' behaviors related to a single process. You can see each move your users made, each field they filled, and how long the whole process took. And you can also see how long each step took. And this way, for example, you may learn why some users are more efficient than others. But more about this view in the demo. So let's move on to our approach. So let's talk about putting our Executive Explorer into practice. Okay, so I'm going to repeat once again that what makes our tool so special and unique is that it delivers an objective source of truth. It records literal user behavior in your Dynamics or AX and even provides information about potential for process automation. And let me now tell you about real-life cases our customers had. Later, during the demo, I will show you our Executive Explorer, how it works, but it will have test data. Here, now, I want to show you the examples, which are real-life cases our customers already had. So the first one, we have a case related to time optimization. So we chose one of the most often carried out processes in a company. It was a registration of vendor invoice. We analyzed the graphs and the top five most frequent variants. And the graph, you can see it on your right. The bold lines here show the most frequent variants of the process, and the final lines show those less often used ones. So the options available here. And the analysis of the execution showed that the process consists of steps that require manual rewriting of data from the invoice to the system. So to a large extent, the user had to rewrite the same data multiple times into different fields. And on average, a user spent 1.5 minutes on this process. May not seem long, but this on average number of execution per week was around 200. So if you multiply it, you get quite a number. So if you were to optimize such a process, for example, using Power Automate, it would save you around 20 hours, right? So this is pretty neat, pretty impressive. And well, okay, so let's move to another case. It is also very fun to talk about. Here we have a case related to redundancy connected with the need to manually, fill the same values every time. So, of course, we chose one of the most often carried out processes in the company. This time it was related to journal type compensation. And we've determined that the most frequent variant was and analyzed executions. So what we found, it turned out that in every execution of the process, the user had to write manually a default value for the project ID of a certain ledger journal trans type. So how the process was optimized? The customer set up a default values in the Dynamics 365 Finance. And for this, this way, the redundant part of the process was completely eliminated. So it was, almost an effortless process optimization. It really turned out really nice. And last case for now, which I want to tell you about something. It's connected with testing. So here's the case. A company wanted to determine which processes are the most often used in the company in order to cover them with regression tests. So we've defined the top 20 processes, which were the most frequently used. And for each of them, we were able to identify the most common variants and the steps. And what we've done next, we've mapped the processes, recorded them in our executive automates. I am sure you know what our executive automates are, at least some of you should know. This tool. It's a great help with testing. If you are not aware of it, please look into it. I really recommend it as well. But moving back to our Executive Explorer, it offers a great help during testing, right? During finding scenarios and the whole process. And of course, now let's talk about our roadmap. Of course, we have one. Of course, we are working on it constantly. For our product, we want to make it better, so it would meet all the needs of our customers. And I think it's important to mention here that we create this roadmap together with our customers. Their feedback is very important to us. We are actually counting on it. So yeah, so if you are interested to see our roadmap, or maybe you would like to talk with us about what is planned for the future of this product, we can, I think, schedule a call, or you can contact us later, and we can share it with you. So it's not a secret.
So thank you, Sylvia. And today's specialty for today's webinar is that you can receive a free trial of Executive Explorer right now. Just get in touch with us using this link, and you will receive the tool which will help you to mitigate the risk, enhance the ERP operations, and generate significant savings on your business operations. With usage of Executive Explorer, you will get a complete picture of your operations, identify the bottlenecks, and shed a light of the blind spots. So I think the link is now visible in chat section also. So feel free to click on it. And this is a perfect time for demonstration of the live tool. Sylvia will show you how our Executive Explorer is working during this live demo.
Okay, please let me know if you can see the web application, our Executive Explorer. I hope it is visible. Yeah, I can see now that it is. Also, before I start, I'd like to remind you that you can, if any question comes to your mind, please write it in the chat section during the Q&A. We will try to answer those questions. Okay, and so moving on to actually how does it work? How does it look like? So here is a screen. What you see here are those processes that were found in, let's say, in your ERP system. Yeah. So what is important here? Of course, those are the processes names, areas they involve, the number of executions, so how many times a certain process was executed, by how many users, information about average steps during each execution. And here, quite an interesting information here is regarding potential. It is a potential for automation. So it is a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 means low potential and 10 means huge potential for automation. Just do it. Yeah. And so other information we get here is average time of each execution and total time. Of course, there are additional fields you can add here. This view is fully customizable, so you can do it. But I will not be showing it today because I think this is not as important. Now, I think we can take a look at details of one of those processes. Let's take a look at this one. Okay, and let me briefly tell you what do you see here. So here we have first KPIs. This is basic information regarding number of executions, number of users who use this process, the potential for automation, and the cost. Yeah, so these are the major KPIs. On the right side, you see some general information, the name of the process. Of course, you can edit it. The area it involves. Here we have sales, because this process is regarding with creating new sales order. There is also an owner of the process. You can, of course, assign owners to each process as you wish. And a bit lower, on the left side, we have a process graph. Let me make it bigger for you so you see it better. Okay. And how do we read those graphs? So those yellow dots point to the beginning and the end of the process. And you just follow the arrows here throughout it. And yeah, so as I've said before, the bold lines indicate the process that is the most common one, and those thinner lines show those less often used variants. And you can study the variants more in detail if you look at the right side here. Here we have information about different types of executions, different variants, as I said. Also with information how often it was used, what is the average number of steps which were included, what's potential for for automation, and so on. So let me show you. If I were to click on this one, see the graph changes and it narrows down the data to cover just this one variant. Now I can move to another one. See, you can view each one separately and decide which one do you think is best to be treated as the perfect one, the perfect process that you want to use as a reference process. You can also, in this case, you can take a look at this in such a way that we have got two processes, two variants of the same process, which are very similar, that have the very similar number of uses, executions. So it may be that there is not one well-defined process for it there is not information distributed well in your company regarding which process is the correct one. That's why they might exist more than once. This is just just a theory. There might be other reasons why this is. There are very similar variants of the same process. But this is worth of course taking a look into. But moving on, we have information here about performance, about the slowest steps, about user performance. And what's also interesting there at the bottom is the executions log. So you here see every execution with another information. What was the user who did it, in which company, which variant they use. Variant, I mean those, right? Those we were talking about, variants. So this is the number of this variant they've used. Of course, date, the duration, and other information you might find useful. And we can dig even deeper. We can look at the one execution of this user and see here details. So let me quickly tell you what you see here. Here are the execution details. So when it was performed, by whom, and how long it lasted. And here are the steps. Each step which was made by these users in this particular case. And what's more, let's say I will click on one of these steps. Here I can see in properties general and business context information. Here in business context information, I can see what values were changed or put or what was typed in, or here everything you can see what was actually done. And two more interesting facts about this screen here. About this, of course, you can rename the process here as you got it before in the screen before. Now, what I wanted to show you, to talk you more about, is the reference process. You may decide that this process, those steps, are those perfect ones that you want to use as reference. So you can mark it yes or no, that you want this one to be the reference process. And it may be very handy for analysis purposes, when you want to compare other variants with it. And actually, another very, very interesting thing is this generate template. This is actually what I've told you about during the presentation, when I've said that it is our tool, this Executive Explorer, works well with Executive Automates. Here, you just click it, generate template. A file will be downloaded with those steps, and you can upload this file to your Executive Automates, and you have it, right? You have a scenario for testing. So it's as simple as that, right? So I think it would come really, really in handy, and you have actual data here, real objective data, how really the process looks like. Okay, but let's move back to processes, and let me find another process that I would like to show you. Let's see this one. Okay, so what we've got here, if you see on the KPIs, it has a great potential for automation, right? This is on the scale from 1 to 10. It actually is 10, so really great potential. And so let's take a look at it. What is happening here? So here we have information, the steps, and just to summarize to you briefly what is going on here is that the the user entered the table which with all sales orders, opened as one of those sales orders, edited item number, and saved those changes and closed this sales order. So if you were to have a scenario in which involved a user need to go through every sales order that was created within a day and edit there manually some information, then this process can be fully automated. Yeah, you can create a job or some full automate to gather all sales orders prepared in a day, and then place the information, the value which you want there automatically. So yeah, so you can also find such things there. I think it's really great. It's really handy. Okay, moving on to other things I wanted to show you. Let's briefly talk about statistics and our pivots. There is forms pivot. It is very nicely used for those of you which would like to know what is how often those forms that are in AX, in Dynamics, how often they are used. You might here see even, this is a pivot which is fully customizable. So you can add filters, decide what you want to see and how you want to see. Here I chosen table, but you can here heat maps or the different ways if it's of course available for the data. But now let's just briefly tell you what you can see here. So here you can even see for each form what user used that form and how long they spend on it on monthly basis. Yes, so this is what you can see here. Of course, all other information you can check on also include companies, what activities were done. So it is just for a quite quick insight into what is actually happening with your with your forms. And the other pivot is for processes. So let's say I would like to know, in such information as area. So in which areas of the system, which areas of the system are the most often used? Yeah, I can do it. I can, see it as a line chart, as a area chart, as bar chart, or how it works for me, how I want to look at it to make it better. I can change it, I can edit it and filter it, so it shows a summary. And it also gives you some, insight where to start, where to begin with process optimization. Okay, so that's briefly about the pivot. One more thing I want to show you, it's actually the visit list in the events. Here, you can see information about user presence in the system. You can see here every time a user logged in and what they've done. It can be, I think, useful for for audit, because you wouldn't need to modify the database log of every user. So you can see here all those information that you would need to see in audit. So let me show you actually how it works. So let's open, let's say, this execution. Let's see what was differences, what was changed. And yeah, so in red and not bold are the previous values, and those in green and bold are the values that was saved by this user. So as you can see here quickly, you can see the time the change was made. Here, there's the user information who made the change, and you can see that they've changed, for example, approval status from approved to confirmed. They changed the item name, delivery date. So here is everything you need to see. Also, aside from audit, this information here may be also useful in such a case when when you have a process which sometimes generates bugs and sometimes it doesn't, and you have problem finding, well, in what instances, what causes the problem sometimes, right? So here you can also analyze it. You have the all information you need here, and maybe it would help you to find the answer actually to the question, what is generating the problem sometimes. Okay, so I think that when it comes to demo, that's it. I hope that you found this interesting. There are lots of other functions, but I didn't want to throw them all at you. I could talk and talk and talk, but I know that we have a limited time here, and there are also your questions. So I think that's it for now when it comes to this demonstration.
Thank you.
Please let me know what you think.
Yeah, just leave the comments. You can ask the questions. Remember that. Thank you, Sylvia. The tool, yeah, we know that this is amazing and unique. So going back to the presentation, and just remember about our free trial. As I have said, you will receive a tool, physical tool, which will help you to investigate all the key activities of your SMEs, to be able, if they are using the correct process, and with this usage of the Executive Explorer, you will get a complete picture of your whole company operations, and you will be able to identify the bottlenecks to prevent any significant crucial situations and to be more effective in the business processes evaluation in Dynamics environment. Okay, I think we can move forward to Q&A session, and just we'll check if we have any questions in the comment. Oh, this is maybe we'll start with that, Sylvia. I will show the question right now on the screen. Does it work on the on-prem and cloud?
Yes, so I can quickly answer this one. Yes, of course, it works on both.
On the both, yeah, exactly. on the both like D365 and AX 2012. Exactly. So probably. Okay, we'll
there are
just
also
wait.
some questions that are coming from from LinkedIn, but we do not see them immediately. So there are
So
some
yeah, we
lags.
need to have a
Don't
little
worry.
bit time. Exactly, guys. So just I want to check if. But we have also another question, which is from another platform. I will show you it right now. So, is the user able to feel the agent's action? Well, maybe I'll just take it and answer it quite quickly. So the agent physically is not like the plugin or into the browser. It's like part of the system itself. Physically, there is no any possible noticeable thing which can be experienced by key user during the usage of the Dynamics environment, because it's not anyhow consumes the system itself and the environment. So, and the performance is a very exact the same. So during that fact, the user cannot physically see how the agent is working and how he is, somehow affecting. There's no any negative influence on the.
Yeah, they don't feel a thing. Believe us.
Exactly. We have also already copied the second question from the other platform, so I will just show you right now on the screen. Where is the data recorded and stored?
Okay, so I can take this one.
Okay.
And so the data is recorded on the user's workstation, and the data then later is stored on a central database specialized in storing time series. And and when the database is stored, well, actually, it depends. It depends on you, actually, on our customers. It may be stored in cloud or on physical infrastructures. But speaking from our experience, it is better to use cloud. But both options are available, so it's up to you.
Okay. So do we have another one? Yes, we have. I'll show you right now. What algorithms do we use for modeling? Do they have any parameters? Well, maybe I will just answer to that. Exactly, the algorithms which we are using for modeling, this is a standard usage of the machine learning algorithm. The input parameters for the algorithm specify, the probability and.
Sorry, my dog is here. Sorry to cut you in. Sorry. She wants to share her
We are
opinion.
live.
She agrees with you.
We are live, so things may happen, but still, yeah. Well, so just to continue to answer into the question. Yes, so the probability is to find the probability to find the two processes and assign us the behavior pattern. So as Sylvia shown you during the demo, that we are trying to find the significant pattern of the most frequent behavior, but with some options and other iterations. So the system itself, as Sylvia shown you, can identify which is the crucial one and which is the correct one, which should be followed by other users, and afterwards shown in different variants. So I'm hopefully counting that I have answered this question correctly.
Okay. If there are some more questions to follow up to this, you can of course write in the comment section or send it to us, so we can make it more clear if it's not. But I think Rafa, you said what this essence is here.
Thank you, Natasha, for your comment with hearts and dogs. I have another question. Just give me a second to copy that on the clipboard and that screen to show you. Yeah. So we already have answered it a little bit, but well, Sylvia, do you want to take this? Or
Yeah, I can take this one. Okay,
Okay.
so what we've actually observed is about 4% of performance markup. But there is actually no loss of use comfort, and the markup actually is so little that it's completely unnoticeable by users. They really do not feel a thing.
Okay. We have another question from the yeah, we have a few more questions. I'll just copy that. Just give me a second. Sharif just asked us, what are the current known limitations?
Yeah, actually, this question is quite difficult to answer because we
exactly.
talk and talk and talk because we have the whole roadmap when we want we want to develop it more and more to make it more perfect and more. So there are quite things we so we are finding as a limitation, but it can actually, it also refers to previous questions regarding why I said it is better to use cloud, because if your company is really large, the amount of the number of data is huge, right? And so we collect such huge number of data, so physical resources are the main limitation here. I think
Correct.
that would be the most the biggest one, right? So that's why cloud.
Why we are just suggesting, to all those clients which we are working with, to use the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have another question. Thank you, guys. That's amazing that you asked such amount of questions. Feel free to do it more.
You are interested.
Yeah. Okay. So Tarek have asked if their integration with external, will this be counted or only the 365 users?
I'm not really sure I understand this question, to be honest.
To be honest, I have the similar issue, Sylvia, but I think you are asking if we can discover the behavior of the external users. Yeah, that's correct. Or if you may just maybe describe it a bit more.
I think if you are asking whether this is also works on different environments other than Dynamics 365 or IX, then for now not. For now, this tool is for these solutions only.
Exactly.
So, for example, if you have a different ERP system, for example, SAP or some other, or Coda or UBW, it will not work on those environments.
Exactly. So right now we are just exploring the Microsoft Dynamics environment, like the 365 and AX 2012. Okay, I would just.
I think this one was already. Good job. Okay.
Okay.
Let us give us a moment to check if there are any more questions, and if you have any, of course, feel free to ask them. And also, if after the webinar something comes to your mind, what you would like, to ask us something or talk with us about these solutions, please feel free to contact us. We would be very happy to talk with you about it.
Yeah. So, just give me a moment. I will just check all the platforms. Trying to be a good moderator here. Wow.
You're doing a great job here.
Oh, thank you, so far too kind. Okay. So maybe just what's worth mentioning here is that remember about this free trial, and if you have any more questions to us, you can address it by contacting us. all together, all just separately, we will be able to help you and to answer your questions. So feel free to reach us, and we'll be happy to help. Okay, I think we are just going slowly to the end of this live session of.
Here's I think about we have actually a follow-up from Tarek.
Oh, okay, cool. Just I will show you on the screen. I'm asking about the integration with external apps, so the actions is counted only in the actions taken by Dynamics 365. So as the apps are integrated with Dynamics environment, we are able to discover them. So, am I right? Yes, Sylvia?
Yeah.
So the idea is to focus on the Dynamics 365 environment physically, but yes, we can analyze your activities taken also in the apps, which are some kind of add-ons, plugins to your environment modifications.
Yeah. Also, other platforms are also open to it, right? So we really want to include it as well.
As we are seeing, the potential in the market, we are willing to do that.
That's right.
Okay.
We are really hyped about this tool. It really, especially for me as a person with some experience in process management, with quality management and process optimization. Those lean or Six Sigma methodologies. When we started working on this tool, when I heard that majority of the work I was doing before cannot be done automatically, I was so happy. I am really hyped about this product. So if you have any feedback to share with us, we really are open to it, because we want to create really something great. It is already great, but it is, I think it's almost greatest in the world, in my opinion. Yeah, but I'm biased.
Yes, this is unique. This is a unique tool, because as you said, most of the companies are physically focusing only on the logs.
Yeah.
To be honest, logs don't have enough data to give you a perfect picture of the process taken by your key users.
Yeah, and here you have objective data. Not that someone tells you how they do some process, but you actually see how really it is done, how really it looks like. So you really can optimize those processes that need to be optimized. Not that, sometimes when you just use word of mouth, then the one who generally screams the loudest, they would have their process optimized, right? When in truth, it may not be the process that really needs to be optimized first.
Yeah.
So here.
In other hand, you have the amount of the execution of the process, which can be described as the we have thanks from Michal. But yeah, to be honest, it's like that with the Executive Explorer, you can physically check each iteration of your business transaction which is taken in Dynamics environment, and you can check the exact amount of the time which was taken to skip from one to another point of the process. And you're physically able to check if your users are using the correct process. To be honest, usually in the companies, there are some booklets of the key processes, but after the few of the iterations of the key users, they are a little bit modified each time. And using the Executive Explorer give you this advantage that you can physically check if the SMEs are using the booklet process or they have modified somehow, because maybe they are more effective. Maybe their process are faster. They without losing the quality of the business process. So this is the value added for this tool, most likely. And if you just add this as in the scale of the company, which has around 500 or 600 employees, and around half of it is repeating this process. I know, like contact center or purchase order clerk, and if this clerk will, a little bit shorten his activity time, he'll be able to process more orders, and the scale can be huge. So we can find a significant small process which can be identified and modified, and after this multiply by scale, you will receive a very huge cost saving in your process.
Yeah. So if you are familiar with the Kaizens, so this is actually what it is, right? Small things that can make a great difference. And just to add here, just to not prolong it, because we could talk and talk and talk about it. But one other thing, it is you always have up-to-date data. You do not need to collect it after some time, but you always see what the current process looks like. So I think that there are no more questions. Do you see any more questions, Rafał?
Not yet. It's like everyone is just giving us, I would say, greetings, to be honest. So thank you guys for that.
So it's finished.
Thank you for joining us. So thank you, Sylvia. For you all, for the old participants, have a lovely day. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was a great pleasure. Please feel free to contact us if you want.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.